Okay, so with Monster Hunter 3 stories coming along, and with the recent announcement of Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition, Elden Ring getting delayed, and Assassin's Creed Shadows coming to Nintendo Switch too, I figured it was time to, start theorizing on the future of things. So I thought that I would, theorize about something that I know personally very well, which is Monster Hunter. And I want to talk about kind of my wants for a new Monster Hunter game. Specifically, this is going to be more geared towards like the next Monster Hunter on Switch, because I most likely see the Switch getting its own exclusive. Maybe I'll dive into that. But yeah, so we're just gonna get right into it. If you want to hear more stuff like this, make sure you like and subscribe, and to stay informed. Sorry, I'm burping. Ooh, okay. I've been with this franchise for many years, and I've seen a lot of the changes. I kind of I understand how Capcom goes about each Monster Hunter game. Each Monster Hunter game is just trying to introduce new gameplay elements and themes and stuff like that, and just trying to just throw stuff at the wall and see what sticks. I made a comment in my other video. It's like Call of Duty. It's like Capcom's Call of Duty. And I think that was really silly that I said that, and I think it's somewhat accurate, so I'm not taking it back. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of it. I was not the biggest fan of the Monster Hunter games that Capcom decided to put on the Nintendo Switch. Not saying I haven't put many hours into them, but my experience overall has just felt me wanting more. We'll start off with the first one to sin, which is Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Now, you might be like, Judah, you have a gameplay video of you hunting Glavenus. You must like I don't understand. I hate this game. This is actually one where I would argue it's not a good game. Now, and you might be like, Judah, what are you talking about? It's Monster Hunter. You love Monster Hunter. And yes, I do love Monster Hunter Generations. But when we get to Ultimate, this is when Monster Hunter is kind of at its worst. It's a bunch of content. Not a bunch of content, but it's just a bunch of quests thrown together. Some quests you have to do smaller quests and talk to villagers. It's a lot like an RPG almost, where you're just having to constantly talk to random people, go on random quests to activate the certain quests you're trying to go on. It's very confusing. It's not like that in a game like Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, even though you can talk to villagers. Like the woman, like early on in the game when the woman asks for like to get the Great Jaggy or whatever, that's one that I always think of. But it's so obnoxious, and it honestly just takes the joy out of the game. Like, I cannot finish high rank on Monster Hunter Generations because I am just aggravated. And yeah, I've been trying to do it for years, and I eventually just gave up. I started so many different save files, and I enjoy the hunting and the arts, but the payoff for the end, like just putting so many hours into it, I did not get the satisfaction. But which is a bummer, because I did like Generations on the 3DS. So when Ultimate came to the Switch and I just didn't like it, I was a little upset. Anyways, next is Monster Hunter. Yeah, we'll do Rise. Monster Hunter Rise. So Monster Hunter Rise is a lot of fun. I like the gameplay, but it's so just like there's not much going on to it. It's Monster Hunter with all of the potatoes. Actually, no. It's Monster Hunter with the meat, but no potatoes. If you get what I'm saying. Hunting, looking cool, really nice armor sets are all there. But the potatoes, you need the potatoes. There's just I don't know. I just don't find myself. There's just something about Rise that it doesn't feel that much like a Monster Hunter. Like when I go back and I play like Generations or even a game like World almost. I don't know, Rise just feels so basic. I don't know if it's the map design, it being very linear and just going from point A to point B, and the monsters already being on your map. But I mean, it's a lot of fun, but I just find myself getting so bored with it just because I'm just like, ugh. Like, I don't know. There's just, I feel like it's the monster with the least soul, especially in like the art style. It's a nice art style, but the colors are just a little drab. I've heard somebody else say that before. So like I just wasn't a fan of that. And I mean, I don't know. I liked everything else about it, but rampages suck. Yeah, rampages are the worst. Yeah, big turn off. But I mean, I've been enjoying Rise with my hours, but still, it just left me wanting more. And then I did forget there are a couple more Monster Hunter games, which are the Stories games, which obviously Monster Hunter Stories 3 I mentioned at the beginning. But actually, I did really like Monster Hunter Stories 2. It runs like buns on Switch 1, and it runs really good on Switch 2. So if you have a Switch 2, I would recommend getting Stories 2 and Anticipation for 3, and you can get a physical for it, which is really nice. But actually, yeah, I don't really have that many complaints with the Stories games. They're just, RPG, like, turn-based RPGs. My frustration with them mainly comes from just my RNG just sucking or just being underprepared. Oh, and Stories 2 I just feel like goes on for way too long. But overall, those are the two Monster Hunter games that I've really enjoyed. And I don't even like, actually no, I do like turn-based RPGs. They're not my go-to. But yeah, no, I do really like them. I've been trying to get into JRPGs and stuff. So Stories games to me have always been like really nice. So this leads to the topic of today. Now I'm going to briefly cover Monster Hunter Stories 3. The gameplay's been coming out for it. There's been trailers. And honestly, I'm pretty hyped for it. I'm pretty hyped. I've been liking the art style. The colors look really nice. The gameplay they've been showing. I mean, I think I'm going to really like it. I think I'm going to have to buy it day one. The only thing I'm thinking is either physical or digital. And I'm thinking about just getting it digitally because I have all the other Monster Hunter games digital on my Switch. But yeah. So, but that's the confirmed Monster Hunter game after Wilds. After that, we have no idea. Or not Monster Hunter Wilds, but Stories 3. Monster Hunter Wilds, I've not played Monster Hunter Wilds. I'm not even gonna comment on it. I know my friend has. I don't think he plays it still. I think he gave up. So, no comments on Wilds for today's video because I've not played it. I have no opinions. It looks fine. Anyways, what do I think is the next Monster Hunter entry gonna be? Now, I have been wanting, as I've said before, in, I think previous videos maybe, I've really been wanting like a collection, like a port collection of like the classic Monster Hunters from PSP, or even like 3 Ultimate or something brought over. I think that would be a really fun thing. I don't see them doing that. But I think that would be a really nice thing to do, just to give the fans something they want. Remastered, or just, HD versions at 60 frames, wide scale. Especially if you got like an English version of DOS, especially if it was like the OG PS2 games, that would be something. Do I think that's gonna happen? Do I think that's the most likely gonna happen? No, not really. Do I want a 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate port? Yes. Is that more likely than the PSP games? I don't know, because the PSP games are Freedom Unite, but I think I could see something like a 3 Ultimate, 4 Ultimate getting ported, especially a 4 Ultimate, because I feel like more people really love 4 Ultimate, even though 4 Ultimate for me, going back to it, wasn't it's a really fun, it's a good Monster Hunter game, but it just, I don't know if it's just because of playing Generations Ultimate and Rise, but it just felt like, I don't know, going back to it, it didn't have as much charm as I thought it would when I first played it. But the game that actually, out of all the Monster Hunter games that I've gone back to and I've played and I've been like, oh, this is the one, is Monster Hunter Stories, the Stories games, and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. I think 3 Ultimate, is the best in the series. When it comes to art direction, when it comes to just like gameplay, I really like the Moga Wood system for points. There's the farm. I think swimming's a lot of fun. I think in like the old school Monster Hunter, I think 3 Ultimate like really nailed it. But anyways, what do I think is the future for Monster Hunter, specifically on Switch? I think, so there's 3 options. One is we get the Wilds port. The Monster Hunter Wilds port to Nintendo Switch. Probably runs 30 frames. Probably after they fix the PC version and, touch up the console versions, we get just like I guess like not the definitive version, but we get just like like the stable version, the final version of Wilds ported over. Once we've been into the Switch's life a little bit, they've understood the hardware of it, especially after Resident Evil 9 comes out on Nintendo Switch 2. Capcom will know how to really work the RE engine with the Switch 2, and they could maybe port that game over. The next option is obviously the the portable option. They make a whole new game for Nintendo Switch 2 called Monster Hunter. We have World and Rise, Wild. I don't know. We'll call it Monster Hunter Outlands. We'll call it that. I don't know. And it's just like a more condensed version of Wilds, built for Switch. I don't know if they would really do that though, since they might. I don't really know. I just saw there's actually 4 options. The next option is a world port. I also talked about this in a previous video. I think if they just ported like a I don't know, anniversary, something like they're doing with Fallout 4, ported that over 60 frames per second, just like a technical showcase for the Switch 2 or something, that would be really cool. But I don't really want to talk about that one too much, because I feel like they could easily do that, but I don't think they would. I think we would rather just get like a Rise, which is actually kind of tied with the World, which is a 60 frames per second Rise. Monster Rise at 60 frames per second on Switch 2 would also be really good, because it just runs at 30 FPS and just the frame pacing's weird. But the last option is, I saw this Instagram account the other day. I'm looking it up. Oh, okay. Monster Hunter Outlanders. Okay, this is where I kind of still like Outer Lands. But this is a mobile Monster Hunter online game. It's like it's just like, it looks pretty neat. It reminds me of Frontier. Yeah, it's like an open world game. It looks a lot of fun. I've not played it yet, but the graphics on it look really good. And I don't know, I was just looking at the Instagram page and I was thinking to myself, like, because like game developers have ported their mobile games, like bigger mobile games, to the Nintendo Switch, like Fallout Shelter and that one Skyrim game. But I've never seen like a Genshin Impact or something ported over. Oh yeah, we've seen also like a not Warframe. It's that one Call of Duty like game. I can't remember what it's called. I can't remember what it's called. But I was just looking at this and I was like, yo, this looks like a really fire Monster Hunter game. Obviously, I'll have the gameplay or the clips on the screen, but I just thought it looked really neat. And I remember thinking to myself, like, yo, if they just ported this over, made a crossplay with mobile, and then eventually it came to all consoles and became like the new Monster Hunter Online, or no, not online, but Frontier. I thought that would just be really neat. So if that got ported over and it was just like I guess the ideal way to play it instead of mobile, because it's a console and it just ran really good. I think that would also be really nice, and then you get to connect with mobile and it plays into the Switch being portable. I think that would be really good. But in terms of the future for Monster Hunter, it's really shaky right now, with Wilds being so iffy in the community. Obviously, I haven't played it yet, so I have no comment on it. But just not being that, impressed with the games on Switch that came out. World is a lot of fun. I do like World, but again, just always being online and no pause button, just small things. I don't know, there's always just something super small about each Monster Hunter game that I'm just like, ugh. They haven't, there's not been a perfect Monster Hunter game. I really, really, really enjoyed the combat and everything of this like series. It's like my favorite series, but I honestly could not sit here and tell you that there's a perfect Monster Hunter game, except for maybe Monster Hunter Stories 2. I'd probably just say that. I'd probably say that's probably the best Monster Hunter game, except for 3. 3 would probably be maybe a 10 also. So yeah, top 2 Monster Hunter games is Stories 2 and Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate. Yeah, we're going to have to say that here. So yeah, that's what I'm hoping the future Monster Hunter is. So just to recap it, I hope that Monster Hunter Stories 3 is really good. I hope that Monster Hunter Wilds gets fixed. And I hope that Monster Hunter mobile game or Wilds gets ported to Switch too. Or we get a new game. So yeah, I just wanted to talk about that. I just thought it'd be something super interesting, to just bring up. So yeah, see you guys later.